Donald Trump, authoritarian maniac, this morning reiterated as bagpipes play in the background that he needs to be thanked for sending food aid to Gaza. Listen to this. It is beyond parody. This is, dare I say, Kafka-esque. The bagpipes play as Trump attempts to demand thank yous, as authoritarians are wont to do.
Because you have a lot of starving people. You have people that, the United States recently, just a couple of weeks ago, we gave $60 million. It's a lot of money. No other nation gave money. I know the Prime Minister would if he knew about it, and he really knows about it now because we're going to be discussing it. But we gave $60 million. Nobody said even thank you. Thanks. Somebody should say thank you. But other nations are going to have to step up. When I spoke to Ursula yesterday, she said that the European nations are going to step up very substantially too.
Why aren't people thanking me? A trip of potentially globally diplomatic, significant global diplomacy, if Trump were capable of it, and he's whining that he hasn't been thanked enough as bagpipes play in the background. How much embarrassment can a country take? Asked a question about a possible ceasefire in Gaza, Trump somehow ends up ranting about nuclear dust. I kid you not.
Do you think a ceasefire is even possible, Mr. President?
Yeah, a ceasefire is possible, but you have to get it. You have to end it. You're talking about with Israel's. You're talking about there, because we have many ceasefires going on. The whole world is. If I weren't around, you'd have right now 6 major wars going on. India would be fighting with Pakistan. You see what we just did yesterday with 2 nations that we're trading with. And during the trade, I said, I'm not going to do any trade deal unless you guys settle your differences. And we got it settled in 24 hours. I mean, they just announced it was settled, which was a tremendous thing. But Serbia, Kosovo is another one. We have many hotspots that were at.
Remember, the question was about a ceasefire in Gaza.
War. I think a very big one was India and Pakistan, because you're talking about 2 nuclear nations. That was a very big one. And we get help from the UK. The Prime Minister's helped. We have cases where we specifically need the help because somebody comes from here that you're aware of. And, when you come from a country, you can do things. And I call up the Prime Minister, and all of a sudden, he's able to do things. True also with other presidents and prime ministers. But we've done it. Nobody's ever done what we've done. We have 6 different major if you take a look at Rwanda.
Just a reminder, the question was ceasefire, Gaza.
And the Congo, Republic of the Congo. They've been fighting for 31 years, 8 million people dead. It was going on. Nobody could go to that part of Africa. They were being killed. If to even walk there, you're being killed with machetes. And it was a violent situation. And I was able to, they liked Trump. They wanted to make a trade deal with Trump. They wanted us to take their rare earth. They want to give us their rare earth. And I got to know the leader of the Congo. I got to know both of them indirectly. And I called him. I said, let's end the war. I don't want anything until you end the war. And we ended the war. As you know, the foreign ministers came up 2 weeks ago, and the leaders are going to be coming very shortly to Washington, Rwanda. And
reminder, the question was ceasefire, Gaza.
And Congo. I mean, that's another one that we did. So we've done a lot. It's an honor to do it. It's not hard for me to do it. And I use, not in all cases, but I use a combination of knowing them a little bit, or in some cases knowing them a lot. I knew, the leaders of Pakistan and India. I know them very well. And, they're in the midst of a trade deal, and yet they're talking about nuclear weapons. I say, this is crazy. So I said, I'm not doing a trade deal with you guys. And they want the trade deal. They need it. I'm not doing a trade deal with you if you're going to have war. And that's a war that spreads to other countries. You'll get nuclear dust. We'll all get nuclear dust. When they start using nuclear weapons.
That is the weave, folks, also known as completely falling apart and losing connection with time and space. Ceasefire in Gaza. You're going to end up with nuclear dust everywhere. Finally, exhaustingly, Trump says free speech is important And Keir Starmer goes, we've had free speech here. What is Trump talking about?
Can you discuss the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that. We protect.
The guy suing media outlets over what they say is now going around the world saying, we've got free speech, but not everybody does. Hard to think of a more embarrassing diplomatic global trip. We're going to dig into the implications of this on our Substack, which you can get at substack.davidpakman.com. Heather Cox Richardson joins me next. Donald Trump has already packed his second-term cabinet with loyalists. He's threatened deportation as political punishment. He's expanded executive authority in ways we have not seen in modern history. These are real changes that are happening right now. And what's even more alarming is that a lot of the media is either glossing over the worst of it or they're reframing it so it all sounds a little more palatable. And that is why I use Ground News. This is a news comparison tool. Doesn't just feed you headlines. It shows you here's how different outlets, left, right, center, are covering the same story. And this is one of the few tools I know of that can really help you detect the political spin, the bias, catch stories that your usual sources might downplay or not cover at all, on everything from immigration policy to economic shifts. If you want to get a bigger picture, a broader picture of what's being reported, Ground News is an invaluable source to keep you informed. And Ground News is offering my audience 40% off their top tier Vantage plan. You'll only pay $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pakman or enter the code Pakman in the app to get started. The link is in the description.